DK back at you with another video here for the NBA main slate here on Thursday. We got a smaller slate, a 4-game slate, but a really interesting slate. I'll get to it in just one sec. Real quick, let's see how we're doing currently tonight. So I guess I'll start off with the Enes Kanter situation. So I tweeted out a lot of the plays that I like today. Enes Kanter, one of them. So I was keeping track. Once the Knicks announced that they were going to start Lance Thomas and kind of go Vonleh small ball at the 5. I honestly, I just been playing GPPs, so if I was a cash game player, then I would be off Kanter for sure. Kind of tweeted about that. I was like, if you're playing cash games, don't play them. GPPs, I still like them. That was my thought process. I thought, the ownership's going to go way down in Kanter. He's a high usage guy off the bench. I still really like him. He's going to be going up against the likes of like Kenneth Faried. I really like that Faried-Kanter matchup. Both of those guys play no defense at all. And then you got David Fizdale comes out and gives Enes Kanter is going to get a DNP CD. So really frustrating. What can you do? I mean, when he got ruled not starting, I thought about it. I was like, there's probably like a 5% chance he gets a DNP CD because Dave Fizdale is one of the worst coaches. And sure enough, he got a DNP CD. What can you do? My other lineup, or the rest of my lineup, doing really good here. Rozier went with Harden. Bembry, I didn't really like. Small forward was tough. I didn't like a lot of small forwards, and I did like the Chicago-Atlanta game, so I kind of just went with Bembry. It wasn't my favorite play, but kind of just a filler. Faried, really liked him. Picked him to start, Nene out. Baines and Rozier are basically locks for me. Both of them just way too cheap. Baines, he got in some foul trouble, not doing that good, but 3.5K, don't need him to do much. Chris Dunn, again, I really like this Atlanta-Chicago game. And then John Collins, I liked the Atlanta bigs, Collins, Dedmon, and Alex Len. I knew Collins would go very low owned tonight, so that's kind of why I went with John Collins. Currently got 30 fantasy points with 2 minutes to go in the half. And yeah, obviously Kanter going to get the DNP CD. So a little frustrating, but it is what it is. Got to move on. That's DFS. Dave Fizdale, though, is on the same level as Dave Yeager for me. Both those guys, two of those guys are the worst coaches in the NBA, in my opinion. Yeah, enough about that. David Fizdale should be fired, but yeah. Okay, so this 4-game slate, I may sound like I'm repeating myself a lot, but there are so many good plays and so many different ways you could go on the slate where I would almost take it easy. Like, there's so many good plays that it's kind of tough to differentiate, the really good plays from the good plays. 4 games, too. If I was playing this, just stick to GPPs. Cash games, it's just too tricky of a slate. Like I said, there's way too many good plays. So yeah, let's get into it. Honestly, looking at these 4 games, all 4 of these games are stackable. I think you can make a GPP lineup and stack every single one of these games. Okay, so I guess we'll start position by position. So Westbrook here at 10.7 in a dream matchup here against the Pelicans. Westbrook has the highest ceiling out of anyone on the slate. So that's basically all I gotta say about Westbrook. He's a great play. So the Golden State Warriors, Curry, Clay, Draymond, Durant, Boogie Cousins, all 5 starters seem way too cheap in a great matchup here against Washington. The concern is obviously anytime Golden State takes the floor is the blowout factor. The fact that it's at Washington, though, it definitely does make it, me feel a little bit safer about targeting this game. So Steph Curry, obviously I kind of say the same thing with him every time. Anytime he steps on the court, he has huge upside. Look what he did against the Lakers. Obviously, it was Klay Thompson who had that huge game. Steph Curry shot the ball 3 of 12 and still got 40 fantasy points. Imagine what can happen when he's knocking down shots. And then we can move to Lillard here, currently listed as questionable. If he's out, that's huge. Seth Curry would probably pick up the start, and he'd be a great value play. And then CJ McCollum would just be a lock and load against Phoenix. CJ he's on the shooting guard. Oh, it's right here. 6.3K. CJ, just lock and load him if Lillard's out. Even if Lillard plays, I'm not a CJ guy most of the time, but 6.3K in a dream match against Phoenix, I definitely still think he would be doable if Lillard does play. If Lillard's out, McCollum's just a great play. Then you got Drew. So with Anthony Davis out, the rules in DFS have kind of been, you play Randle, you play Mirotic, you play Drew. Drew Holiday, 8.2K. Going to play most of the game. Will be asked to guard Westbrook. I guess there is a slight chance he gets in foul trouble. Obviously, Westbrook really aggressive on the offensive end. But 8.2K, I think Drew's going to go very low owned. So I still do like him here at 8.2K. And then you got Booker. Let me down here the last couple of games. The Minnesota game, both Minnesota games, I played them both times. Kind of laid an egg in that first one, and then got ejected last game. The price has come down all the way to 7.5K. It's at Phoenix. The game definitely, I mean, there's a slight blowout chance, but the fact that it's at Phoenix does make me feel a little bit safer about targeting this game. I think Booker goes pretty under-owned. Him and Drew, I think, are going to go kind of low-owned. I do like both their upsides a lot. D Rose, so played him the other night with no Jeff Teague, and we can't be results-oriented. Obviously, he didn't do good, but if I could go back in time, would I play Derrick Rose again in that same situation with no Jeff Teague? 100%. He was the right play. Just didn't play well. The role of Jared Bayless, I don't know. Teague currently listed as questionable. I don't think he plays, so D Rose, I think he could go back to the wall, but the new coach in Minnesota does worry me a little with these rotations. He's not really Tom Thibodeau-esque. I liked what Tom Thibodeau, obviously, just run the starters in the ground. So that does worry me a bit with Rose. Lonzo obviously out, and we got LeBron still out. Rondo, he's currently listed as questionable. He doesn't think he'll have a minutes restriction if he's able to play because it's his hand. If Rondo plays and has no minutes limit, I absolutely love him at 5.2K. I guess I would wait for news. If he's going to come off the bench, I think you could still do it in GPPs, but I probably wouldn't do it for cash games if you're playing cash games. But if Rondo starts and has no minutes limit, 5.2K is way too cheap. And then you got Alfred Payton here, 5.4K. I know he's kind of been up and down, but with no Anthony Davis, that's obviously that's a lot of usage to go around. He seems 200 price here at 5.4K. Lance, only if Rondo's out. I kind of got limited. I expect him to play more minutes against Golden State. Only played 16. Luke Walton, you can't really trust him, so I don't know if I could do Lance. I love playing Lance, but it's just the minutes right now with Luke Walton. You never know. Beal, so if Washington's going to keep this game close, Beal's going to have a huge game. I honestly, if you're playing this game, if you're stacking this game, you have to play Brad Beal. You have to. 8.9K. If this game stays close, I think he's going to crush value. I think if Washington keeps this game close, Beal goes for over 60 fantasy points. So I really like him at 8.9. Klay Thompson, again, all these Warriors seem too cheap. I talked about him against the Lakers. He was way too cheap. Obviously, he had that crazy game. Couldn't really miss. He's been up and down, but he has huge upside. 6.4K, that's cheap exposure to this game. You can't go wrong with Klay Thompson. And then Ingram here at 6.2. Ingram and Kuzma seem way too cheap with no LeBron, no Lonzo. If Rondo's out too, Ingram will play more of the point. Even if Rondo plays, I still like Ingram and Kuzma are going to play most of the game. I like Ingram a lot still. Wiggins, I'm not a Wiggins guy, but 5.6K, definitely doable and a good match against the Lakers. Satoransky, been playing most of the game, but I don't think I have to. I mean, he does flash him upside, but I would rather just pay up for Beal. But I guess if you're doing the game stack, you could run Satoransky out there. Josh Hart, KCP, kind of tough. I'm just going to stay away from that situation right now. Other than that, Iguodala, I don't think you need to go there. I mean, it is a cheap exposure to the game. He has flash upside every once in a while, but probably not for me. All right, let's move on to small forward. Durant. Again, I'm going to sound like a broken record with these Warriors. All of them are underpriced. The only concern is the blowout factor. The game stays close. A couple of these Warriors are going to have huge games. Paul George, he's going to go very, very under-owned. He goes under-owned every single night. Basically my same analysis with him. Everyone's going to pay up for Westbrook. No one's going to be on Paul George. Kind of happens every single night. So if you want to play the ownership aspect, go for it. Kuzma just seems way too cheap here at 6.9K. Obviously no LeBron, no Lonzo, possibly no Rondo. It's going to be the main catalyst. Are going to be him and Ingram in this offense. So I like him a lot. Otto Porter Jr. Has been coming off the bench. A little frustrating. I played him against Detroit and only played 26 minutes after playing 44 and 35 last 2 games. This is a game where I think the minutes are going to increase. Maybe he even possibly starts. I don't know. But if you're running this game stack, probably my 2 favorite Wizards are Brad Beal and Otto Porter. So yeah, I do like Otto a lot. Ariza, again, I guess if you're planning to play 3 Wizards, Ariza would be the third. He also has flash some upside. I think Otto Porter has a little more upside than him, but Ariza definitely, in a close game, is going to play most of the game. So Ariza, Otto Porter, and Brad Beal for me on the Washington side. Let's see. So T.J. Warren, so that's big news. He's out. So it's going to be Josh Jackson as well as Kelly Oubre getting a boost. Both these guys definitely viable. Who would I pick if I had to prefer one? I think Kelly Oubre, as gross as it sounds, is probably safer. But Josh Jackson has way more upside here. So I would probably do Josh Jackson GPPs and Kelly Oubre in cash. Let's see. Koji, I don't think we had to go there. There's so many good plays today. I know he had a good game last game, but I don't think we had to do that. Beasley, can't trust Luke Walton right now with those bench players to the Lakers. Okay, let's move on to power forward. Randle, again, with Anthony Davis out, the rule kind of is you get Randle, you got Mirotic, you got Jrue Holiday that become excellent plays. But on a slate like this, there's so many good plays where I think Randle goes pretty under-owned. Steven Adams, pretty good defender, but he's probably going to be on Jahlil Okafor, who I'll get to Jahlil Okafor in a sec. But I think Randle is definitely doable here at 7.8K, and I think he's going to go very low-owned. Mirotic, same thing. He's going to come off the bench. We've seen he can get very hot and put up a huge fantasy point game. So I think Mirotic also going to go kind of under-owned, but I think he's pretty solid. Draymond Green, same thing with all the Warrior starters. They seem too underpriced. The game stays close. I see a couple of these Warriors having huge games. And then we got Boogie. So he got limited to 20 minutes against the Lakers. We haven't had any update on if he's going to have a minutes limit for this game against Washington. Right now, I haven't heard anything. I assume they're going to increase him a bit, maybe to 25 minutes or so. If the minutes increase or limit gets increased, I love Boogie here at 5.8K. It just seems too cheap. Let's see. Dragon Bender, if Ayton's doubtful, if Holmes misses, I guess you could do it. The prices come up. We have seen obviously he's played pretty good here last couple games, but he also can bust. We've seen it last season when he's played a lot of minutes. So I don't know if I'll go there with Dragon Bender. Other plays of interest. I guess you could do AC off the bench. But yeah, I think I'll pass. He doesn't really have that much upside. All right, so let's move on to center. Towns, great matchup against the Lakers. Obviously, he just destroyed Phoenix last couple games. I don't know what else to say. There's so many good plays in the slate. Towns is another great play. This is also a stackable game. You could run some Lakers. You could run a couple of Timberwolves back. So I do like Towns a lot. And then you got Nurkic, who if Ayton, who should miss, and Holmes do miss, is going to go up against the likes of Dragan Bender and Quincy Acey. He should just have his way with them. So I love Nurkic a lot too. Steven Adams, yeah, I get it. He has upside every once in a while, but on a slate like this, we need huge upside. So I'll probably pass on Steven Adams. I do like the price tag. Maybe on a different slate, I would target him, but there's too many other good plays for me. So now let's get to Jahlil Okafor, who had a big game against the Grizzlies and playing very well in the first half here against the Pistons. He has like 5 blocks, playing a lot of minutes. I know the matchup not the best, but I think he is in play here at 4.9K. Definitely consider him. And then you got the Lakers 3-man big rotation. I don't understand why Tyson Chandler is still getting minutes. Beats me, but I wouldn't even target Tyson Chandler. For me, it's McGee, it's Zubac. Kind of a coin flip. I guess if I had to pick, it would be Zubac just because he's seeing a few extra minutes. But I like both of them a lot. The concern is obviously Cat, very aggressive on the offensive end. So either of those guys could get in foul trouble very easily. But Cat not a good defender. So one of those two guys definitely viable in GPPs. And yeah, I think that's about it. So yeah, I know, like I said, a lot of guys are great plays, but this slate is just crazy. Like all four of these games are stackable. So again, I'll go over it one more time. Quick overview. So on the Golden State side, all 5 starters are underpriced. The concern is the blowout factor. If Washington keeps it close, a couple of those Warriors are going to have huge games. On the Washington side, it's Beal. If the game stays close, I think he has a massive game. Then it's Otto Porter, and then it's Ariza for me. I don't know if we have to go to any of the secondary Washington pieces. I mean, I guess Sandaransky if you're doing like the full game stack. But the secondary Washington pieces I'm probably staying away from. There's New Orleans OKC game. We know with Anthony Davis out, it's Drew, it's Randle, and it's Mirotic. And we even got Jahlil Okafor now playing good minutes. I think a lot of those Pelicans are going to go very under-owned, and even Alfred Payton at 5.4K. I think a lot of the Pelicans are going to go very under-owned in this slate. So I think you could take a shot on a couple of them. And then the OKC side, it's the same P. It's Westbrook, it's Paul George, possibly Steven Adams, but again, I don't think he has enough upside. So I think it's really just Westbrook and Paul George for me. And then this Portland-Phoenix game, the big news is Damian Lillard. If he plays, I do like him. There probably would be more blowout risk of Portland blowing out Phoenix. If he misses, CJ is basically a lock. Seth Curry would be a great value play. I would assume he picked up the start. Nurkic, I like him a lot. Should be going up against the likes of Dragon Bender, Quincy Acey. Should have his way. And then on the Phoenix side, we got Devin Booker, who the price went down a lot. I do like him a lot. And then Josh Jackson and Oubre with no TJ Warren. I guess you could do Dragon Bender, but I'm probably going to go elsewhere there. And then this Minnesota-LA game, it's Cat for me. It's huge upside. And it's Derrick Rose if Jeff Teague misses. If Jeff Teague plays, I'm probably going to stay away from the guard situation. It would just be Cat. And then the Lakers side, Rondo, if he has no limits, I like him a lot. No minutes limit. And Kuzma and Ingram seem way too cheap. The secondary Lakers pieces, like Lance, KCP, Josh Hart, Beasley, I mean, I guess you could take a shot. It's just the minutes right now with Luke Walton are too inconsistent. And then the two bigs that I would have interest in GPPs would be McGee and Zubac. So, yeah, I think that's going to do it for today's video, guys. If you have been enjoying the content, please like this video, subscribe. If you have any questions, you can leave it in the comment section down below. It's also important to follow me on Twitter. I will put that in the description below. I'll give my thoughts as more news comes out throughout the day. And yeah, I'll be back for another video on Friday. So I will see you guys then.